I am a self-confessed pessimist and refuse to believe that all children have hearts of gold. But Yaoyao certainly turned out well. The members of this young Crimson Oni's gang choose to follow him, despite the diet of grilled lavender melon. Well, it's one way of living. The objective truth is that Kaveh is his own worst enemy and brings most of his woes upon himself. And yet, I find myself reluctant to be too critical of him. Cyno can relate to some degree. Placing the mysteries of the universe before scholars with a burning desire for knowledge would be like placing a dragon-themed deck from Genius Invocation TCG in front of him. Both are irresistible temptations. I am content to watch most crises play out from the sidelines. But if Albedo were ever to make a single wrong move, I could not let myself ignore it. From Neuvillette's position, every conflict in Teyvat must seem like a comedy acted upon a stage. Fighting for territory that doesn't belong to them, singing the praises of overlords who imprison them, and committing sins that will long outlive them. Still, he does not seem to be an unfeeling spectator at all. In fact, he even tries to understand the causes behind this state of affairs. I rarely see such people, but lest you condemn me as ignorant or a loner for making such a statement, I should remind you that there is only one Iudex of Fontaine in this world. Humans often place gods on a pedestal, awestruck by their unfathomable power. Very few ever come to the realization that gods are not the rulers of Teyvat, but merely another form of living being in this world. A god who lacks strength may have little to no advantage, even over mere mortals. Even I have no spiteful words to say about a god such as this. I will leave her be. Perhaps the god of Dendro will continue to propagate herself for as long as Irminsul continues to exist. As for the significance of Irminsul to the whole of Teyvat, I will leave that for those who are not under this world's control to discover for themselves. This is wise, for to overcome is to move forward, not to wallow endlessly in the past. Pity that my former travel companion, for all their years of rumination, lacks Kale's clarity on this. Or perhaps, some situations are simply too complex to be resolved by good intentions and honest effort alone. There are those with hatred in their hearts that are able to do what Eula has done. Take the lust for vengeance bequeathed to them by fate and channel it into a force for self-advancement. For Eula, this has set her down a path of peace and inner strength. Still, there are others for whom the passage of time does nothing to quell the poison spreading through their souls. Only the future will reveal the path they take, but inevitably, it will be a different one. I do not believe people can be truly impartial. What is true to one person may not be so to another. My words, for example, contain numerous subjective opinions, which may sound like nothing more than a tall tale to others. If Charlotte were willing to interview me, I'm curious to see how she would deal with my subjectivity. I'm only joking. My story would bring her nothing but trouble. What she doesn't know can't harm her. When facing their fears, Archons and mortals are all the same. Yet Archons are born arrogant. By attempting to grasp the heavenly principles, she brought a disaster upon mortals. Perhaps some may say that I'm overstating what happened, but I'm just speaking from experience after all. While I can't claim much expertise when it comes to opera, I have heard that actors often rehearse in front of the mirror. On the one hand, they need to immerse themselves in the character and the scene, and on the other, they must see themselves from the perspective of the audience to decide whether their act is emotionally compelling. I'm sure that Furina, too, has spent time adjusting her technique in front of the mirror all alone. But I wonder, who is it that she really sees looking back at her? Neither a dark sun nor a red moon is seen as a good omen by this world's standards. Things certainly did not end well for the dynasties that took them as their respective emblems. So when someone has a recurring dream featuring the sight of a crimson moon, she should beware. In my long journey, I have seen many fight to defy fate. Arlecchino is one of them. And she seems to have succeeded. The fiery blood that corrodes her flesh has eaten away, too, at the shackles that once bound her. When a blood-red moon shines down from above, some see the face of death, while others see the roof over their heads.